A pleasant good morning again, and we bid everyone, our viewing audience, who are joining us virtually on NIPR and NTV's Facebook and YouTube pages. Today, it is my honor to bring to you our debut webinar, which seeks to sensitize our viewing audience about the sustainability of the international financial services industry on Nevis. We are pleased that we have lined up a group of leading experts in their field of work to share their wealth of knowledge on various topics. The Nevis Investment Promotion Agency, in collaboration with the Financial Services Regulatory Commission, Nevis branch, ably supported by the Marketing Advisory Committee, AMS trustees who is partnering with us today, and stakeholders in the private sector, welcome you to the Nevis Advantage webinar. Our guest speaker for today, targeting the topic of asset management, core product, incorporations, licensing of international financial services products, and investment opportunities, is Mr. Kenley Maynard. Mr. Maynard holds a bachelor's degree in accounting from Cameron University, Oklahoma. Mr. Maynard has been in the financial services industry for over 12 years. From 2004 to 2007, Mr. Maynard held the position of junior clerk at the Nevis Financial Services Department. Mr. Maynard also worked as a business consultant from 2011 to 2012. He is currently the assistant manager at AMS Trustees Nevis Limited. Mr. Maynard attributes his success to God, who is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all you can work or think. Viewing audience, I present to you Mr. Kenley Maynard.
Thank you, Kimon, for that kind introduction. And I want to say a pleasant day to all. I say a pleasant day because it might be morning for some, afternoon for others, and even evening for others in other parts of the country. This morning, I'm glad to be here as the presenter for this online webinar, titled the Nevis Advantage. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that you can join. I'm happy to know that others are joining, registered agents, directors, and just persons who are interested in this webinar that we're going to have here this morning. Now, about me, as Kimon said, my name is Kenley Maynard, and I'll give you a fun fact about me. My name is Kenley, K-E-N-L-E-Y, and my mother chose it for me. She has two brothers. I'm the last, and so she took Ken from one of her brothers named Kenneth, and the other Stanley. So she took Ken and Lee from Stanley and got Kenley. Now, many people call me Kenny, and I only found out not some time ago, that why they call me Kenny. Reason being, the meaning of Kenny, I found out, was handsome. Now, if you don't believe me, go look it up and let me know if it's true. Now, this morning, we're going to go through a number of things, and we're going to be talking about Nevis, and of course, then we're going to get into the products of that Nevis offers and the services in the financial services sector. Now, Nevis, why Nevis? Nevis is a small island in the Caribbean and best known for its unspoiled charm and authentic West Indian character. A small Caribbean island located about 200 miles south of east of Puerto Rico, 100 miles south of Miami, and just about 4,000 miles from London. Some interesting facts about Nevis. It's called the Queen of the Caribbean, birthplace of Alexander Hamilton. The population is about over 12,000. The language, of course, is English. The literacy rate is 98%. The government is stable. The labor force, 8,624 estimated in 2018. The GDP of St. Kitts and Nevis, 1.01 billion USD. And the strong fixed currency it has is 1 USD to 2.7 EC dollars. So why Nevis as a destination? Why Nevis as a jurisdiction? Well, foreign investors can hold up to 100% of an investment, and by guaranteeing that there are no restrictions on that repatriation of profits. Corporate tax rates are favorable, and there is full tax exemptions for 15 years on all profits for companies who qualify. Now get this is the good part. There's no income tax, there's no capital gain tax, there's no wealth tax, and no death duty or inheritance tax. It gets better. The pollution index is close to 0. COVID cases are very low. And while this is fluid, we're thankful that cases are low here. Extremely low carbon emissions and commitment to a clean, green economy. Investors can enjoy a friendly government. St. Kitts and Nevis is also a beneficiary of the U.S. Caribbean Basin Initiative called the CIB, which grants duty-free entry into the United States for many goods. I'll just share a bit more about why Nevis. It has reliable, modern communications, infrastructure, perfect for digital nomads and executives. Access to the EU market. It also has world-class accommodation, facilities, and lifestyle amenities. Access to private banking, a range of regional and international banking facilities. A great place to live and work in just a holistic environment. Nevis. Service here in Nevis is prompt and efficient with over 35 years experience. We offer IBCs, trusts, LLCs, foundations, captives, international banking. Growth is value-added services. Growth in value-added services, they're welcome for things like family offices, auditing firms, accounting firms, and wealth firm management. There are many qualified registered agents here and wealth and asset management companies to complement our financial service portfolio. Nevis prides itself in the commitment to meeting international regulatory standards and continues to provide innovative legislative framework for our clients. Now I'm going to be going over some of the products that we offer, the vehicles that we offer to our clients. First, we have what we call the IBC. The Nevis Business Corporation Ordinance, known as the NBCO, provides for a corporation to be incorporated and to conduct any lawful business. A person interested in incorporating an NBC, also known as the IBC, must first engage services of a registered agent licensed in the island of Nevis with a registered office in Nevis. The IBC, it's a corporation targeted to non-residents and is not permitted to engage in economic activities within the jurisdiction it is incorporated in, nor is it taxed in that jurisdiction. Main benefits of an IBC is that it is used in international trading, activities for offshore banking, investment activities, tax planning, online trading, and business and for asset protection, which we'll talk about. IBCs, let me just give you some of the features and the advantages. It has low annual maintenance fees. You can get same-day corporation services. There are limited annual returns to file. Recently, that was no annual returns, but due to the recent tax developments, there is a return, a simple return that would have to be filed. The authorized share capital of the Nevis IBC may be demonstrated in any recognized currency. The information on beneficial owners is kept private to the registered office and not open to the general public. Also, more about the IBC. Bearer shares are available, and the NBCO permits the use of shareholders, officers, and directors who may be of any nationality and who may reside anywhere. And also, a minimum of only one director and shareholder is required. That's the IBC. I'll tell you a bit about the LLC, which is a business entity that provides an alternative to those who might consider using corporations or partnerships, and it doesn't have the complicated corporate requirements as the regular corporation, and is even easier to maintain than the offshore IBC. Now, the LLC is formed under the Nevis Limited Liability Ordinance, known as the NLLCO, shall be a legal entity with separate rights and liabilities, distinct from its managers and members. Therefore, the LLC shall be liable for its own debts, obligations, and liabilities. A little bit more about the LLC. An LLC formed in Nevis may be used for any lawful business purpose. It may be used for any legitimate business venture or professional practice, including international financing arrangements for U.S. or non-U.S. operations, real estate holdings, manufacturing concerns, and as an operational or investment vehicle for international trust, which we will get to. Here are some key features and advantages of LLCs. The Nevis LLC should be formed with a single member. So that's the owner. Whereas the owner is a shareholder for the IBC, the owner for LLC is known as the member. The Nevis LLC may have perpetual life, limited reporting and filing requirements for the LLC. The limited liability company is owned by members, and it does not issue shares, as I said. The member's liability is limited to a portion of contributions to the whole. Because an LLC has a limited liability status, the members have protection for their personal wealth. The LLC alone is responsible for its debts or obligations. Also about the LLC, management and control of an LLC is usually undertaken by its members, and there are no board of directors as there is with the IBC. Managers may be employed if deemed necessary, and a manager may be a member. Now, voting rights in the LLC usually correspond directly with a member's interest in profits. A member can be of any nationality, and corporate members as well as nominee members are permitted. Now, the Nevis LLC is a tax-free entity. There is also the operating agreement for the LLC, which is optional. Now, to organize a Nevis LLC, a registered agent has to be the one to set it up, and it also has to have a registered office. And also, which many clients like, is the fact that it does not require disclosure of its member information, so there's confidentiality. We move on to the trust. Now, the trust is a very unique and popular vehicle here in Nevis. I will go as far as to say that the offshore trust is the strongest asset protection vehicle worldwide. The trust can hold title, this is what the trust does, to assets, manage said assets in accordance with the trust deed, and in order to provide benefits and distributions to persons or groups designated as the beneficiaries. The purpose of the trust can be specifically specified as broadly as the settlor wishes. The purpose of the trust can be specified as broadly as the settlor wishes, but generally, international trusts are used for asset protection, estate planning, spendthrift protection, investment purposes or charitable purposes, tax savings, which is a huge one, financial privacy, and international diversification. Some of the trusts here in Nevis, under the Nevis International Exempt Trust Ordinance, provides for the creation of various types of trusts, and these can include charitable trusts, non-charitable trusts, spendthrift, or qualified foreign trusts. Again, I'm just giving you a summary of the different vehicles. As a part of this series, each vehicle would have its own webinar where we dive deeper into each one. Some key advantages and features of the trust. The Nevis Offshore Trust are tax exempt under the Nevis laws. Nevis does not recognize foreign judgments, so a court order from the United States, per se, or any other country for that matter, will not have an effect on the island of Nevis. Also too, this is one that is a good benefit. To commence a legal proceedings on Nevis, a creditor has to file a bond of USD $100,000 with the Nevis Ministry of Finance before bringing legal action against that international trust. We go on to foundations. So not only IBCs, LLCs, trusts, but also there are foundations. The Nevis Multiform Foundation Ordinance it was started in 2004 and is a trademark foundation, unique in that the foundation can mutate its form or purpose. It is a multi-purpose foundation that incorporates the characteristic of various entities, which can include companies, trusts, partnership, and private foundations, with the traditional foundation enabling the foundation to act as both a holding entity and a commercial entity. So unlike the offshore foundation, which unlike other offshore foundations, which are ideal for holding assets or for family, business, or charitable uses, when configured properly and appropriately, the Nevis Foundation can also be used as a vehicle for commercial business, trade activity directly, unlike other offshore foundations, where such activities are inert and revenue is generated from contribution gifts or passive investment activity. Some key features about the foundations and advantages also. They must have a management board with at least one member. Individual or corporate members are permitted. There are no taxes on Nevis foundations. There is no requirement for stamp or capital gain tax on foundations in Nevis. There is no restriction on the accumulation of income on offshore foundations in Nevis. The Nevis Foundation cannot involve any property or interest or assets in Nevis, but the foundation can hold interest in offshore companies and other offshore entities. The foundation can be either revocable or irrevocable. The Nevis multiform foundations may own or trade in other share or even open bank accounts. Here are 5 basic requirements for establishing a multiform foundation. It must have a Nevis-based registered agent. It must have a Nevis registered office. It must have an acceptable name. It must have a management board and secretary. And finally, it must have a memorandum of establishment. We go on to insurance. Insurance is also a popular vehicle here in Nevis. The Nevis International Insurance Ordinance 2004 provides for general regulation of the international insurance arena, and also allows for general and captive insurance companies to be formed. This ordinance is a very modern insurance legislation with a number of aspects that make opening an international insurance company for Nevis easier than most domiciles, and without having to introduce the additional cost that many other jurisdictions may dictate or have. Some key features and advantages about insurance. These are some of the entities under the insurance umbrella. The Nevis International Insurance Ordinance allows for entities such as the Allied Reinsurance, the Allied Annuity, captive insurance business, general business, insurance adjuster, insurance broker, long-term insurance business, and reinsurance. Here are a few key features and advantages. It has a low-cost yet prudent, sustainable captive domicile, which is a good feature. It offers a suitable alternative to other offshore captive insurance domiciles. It also offers a low minimum capital and margin solvency requirements while ensuring that the licensed insurers are adequately capitalized based on their business plans. There is no requirement for local banking or local directors. However, each captive insurance or insurance entity must engage an insurance manager to handle the regulator and other requirements. Finally, we touch on the international banking. International banking. The Nevis International Banking Ordinance was designed to enable international banking to be carried out by international banks from within Nevis, and to encourage the development of Nevis as a responsible international financial center. The banking legislation is comprehensive with a strong built-in regulatory framework, and this is done to ensure that a bank licensed under the legislation can be properly monitored to safeguard depositors' funds and to ensure that the bank maintains acceptable accounting standards and satisfies, of course, the capital requirements. Some key features and requirements under the international banking, for international banking. Licenses are granted only to eligible companies or qualified foreign banks. A licensee is required to have a physical place in Nevis, approved by the regulator of international banking, which will also be its registered office. A few more key features. An eligible company includes a corporate body which has been incorporated under the company's ordinance, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of a bank which is indigenous to St. Kitts and Nevis and regulated by Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, or a subsidiary or of a qualified foreign bank which has been incorporated under the company's ordinance, or a corporate body which has been incorporated under the company's ordinance of which the chief executive officer at the time of its application for a license has at least 10 years experience in banking or finance. And I'll wind up this by saying that a qualified foreign bank is defined as a bank with an adequate capitalization and assets that is licensed to conduct domestic banking in its jurisdiction of incorporation, or financial institution that is directly or indirectly wholly owned subsidiary of a foreign bank. Only fit and proper persons will be permitted to hold a directorship, senior management, or shareholding position in an international bank. So, those are the products and services that Nevis offers, you would see that most, if not all of them, offer the Nevis advantage, which include low cost, prompt service and quick turnaround time, confidentiality, tax exemptions, of course, the ease of doing business. You see that most of these products, they're not hard to incorporate. And the services and products are relevant to the clients. So they are solutions for the client's problems. That concludes my presentation regarding the products and services for Nevis as a financial jurisdiction. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with questions and answers.
Thank you for staying with us during this webinar. If you have any questions, please feel free to email them to info, that's INFO, at investnevis.org, and we'll be happy to forward them to Mr. Kenley Maynard for his responses. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm Ms. Kimon Movin, Director of the Nevis Investment Promotion Agency, and I wish to extend a heartfelt gratitude to our presenter for today, Mr. Kenley Maynard, for so ably sharing your knowledge and dynamism on the topic for today. I express appreciation to the hardworking staff at the Nevis Investment Promotion Agency, our marketing officer and resource team, the Ministry of Finance, the Department of Information, NTV, and their technical team, and the Financial Services Marketing Advisory Committee. Finally, I express sincere thanks to the viewing audience for gracing us with your presence today. We look forward to your continued engagement and support. Thank you for supporting the Nevis Investment Promotion Agency in this endeavor. Have a great day. Thank you.